Yes, good morning, everybody. I wish you a very warm welcome to this session. Today we have four presentations here. Two are virtual, coming from Spain, from Fernando Salvetti and his team. And after that, we have a talk from Fred and Stephen. It's a hybrid talk. You're Stephen? You're Fred. Fred is here at Columbia, and Stephen will be joining online. And the last talk will be in person here, presented by Carlos. And without further ado, I would like to give it over to Fernando for his presentation.
Okay, thank you so much. Hello, everybody. Today I'm in Barcelona, Spain, because I was engaged, unfortunately, in a previous event that was requiring my physical attendance here in Spain, so I'm missing you in New York. And I'm about to share with you an experience that is from Rome, Italy, the Zoological Museum of the capital town of Italy, under the umbrella of the European Union. A couple of years ago, we were in charge of this project that is about the digitalization of the museum experience, because this is pretty an old museum, set up approximately 2 centuries ago. So a very traditional museum with very traditionally minded curators for all the rooms. And the European Union, as well as the regional government of the Latium region and the municipality of Rome, decided to develop, let's say, a digital touch and a digital approach in order to boost a different way to visit the museums, and in order to boost different exhibits, not only physical exhibits, but sometimes also digitize exhibits as well. Let me share my screen so we can directly jump into the museum, even if only virtually. And here we are. By the way, I'm talking today on behalf of my colleagues Giuseppe Amoruso, Sara Conte, and Barbara Bertagni. They are part of a larger team comprised of approximately 20 people. All together, we were and still are working in order to enhance the digital experience inside this museum. This is part of a room that is called Skeletal Room. By the way, on my very left side of these images, there are Sarah and Giuseppe that are managing an orangutan inside the museum. At the time, a few months ago, we decided to take 3D photos and perform some 3D scanning of this skeleton in order to transform this skeleton in something that is appearing inside a multimedia totem. So at the time, they were starting the 3D passion for the 3D scanning, and in a few minutes you will see the final output about this skeleton. Another room, the very beginning of our intervention in this case, is the way room, big chaotic room, lot of different colors, lot of different animals. This is the state of the art, let's say, when we started working within the museum, and then when we had to decide how to finalize the different rooms in order to be sure to have visitors provided with a very or more, at least a more focused exhibit. In this case, we decided to really enhance the presence of the whale from the ceiling and to skip all the other animals that were at the time on the floor. This is the rendering, the initial rendering with our proposal. So we decided to say hello or better goodbye to all the other animals, to finalize and to focus the experience around the whale, to mirror the whale as a big carpet, 15 linear meters by 6, approximately by 6 linear meters carpet, with some QR codes directly on the floor, in order to allow people to interact with digital devices like iPhones, smartphones in general, with the skeleton of the whale, and to animate digitally the skeleton of the whale onto the personal mobile devices of the visitors. Plus, we decided to project on a very big surface content about whales related ecosystems, enabling the touch interaction. So people, as you can figure out from the right side of this slide, may, by the flick of their hands, so by gesture shaping, interact with the projected multimedia content. So there is a double level of digitized interaction, one from the floor using QR codes, the second one from the main wall by gesture shaping. This is because digitalization, according to our vision, means, first of all, enabling an active and interactive exhibition and dynamic in between the visitor and the museum's environment, the museum's exhibit. Doing that, we try as both vision and the main target to have a highly engaged visitor, or better visitors, better talking with the plural, because usually we have a lot of visitors attending the same time within the same rooms. Each of them, up to 20 people synchronously, may interact with digitized contents. Let's go further. Just some more details. Sorry, are only explained in Italian because this is part of the official documentation that we have to submit to the regional government of the Latium region to being approved with our concept about this museum. But you can, from the drawings, understand what people are expected to look at. At the room, we are back into the skeleton room. Originally, this room was without the black curtains, so big windows, direct light from the sun was not easy looking at the skeletons because the natural lights from the big windows. So we decided to put black big curtains, and we decided to skip and to forget the typical scientific museum communication, meaning a small piece of papers printed in Times New Romans with a font between 8 to 10. we decided just to print and put big posters with big, very big fonts, in this case, Italian and the original Latin scientific denominations of all the exemplars of the animals, because the second language is English and is available digitally. So people are not in need to be shown with too many words and different languages. Just a few words, because Rome is the capital of Italy. We decided to print mainly in Italian, plus Latin, because it's our tradition and was also the official language of the science. Some people inside the same room, you can see there is a double level of exhibition, because there are spots with small exemplars, and on the main stage there are the bigger exemplars. Let's jump into another room. This is the bird room. Originally, this room was, in our opinion, a little bit too a cemetery, because too many dead birds. So we decided to install a couple of multimedia totems. They are not visible from those photos, but there are two more totems allowing for digital interaction with all the explanations about the exposed animals. And there are QR codes to activate and to bring also home three-dimensional visualizations, 360 rotating visualizations of a number of selected items or exemplars of those birds. The most important ones according to the curator's opinions. Those are part of the exemplars designed by a 3D scanning system. And as you can see from the initial rendering, we are working also within this room, mixing printed communication with big fonts and some images, and multimedia digitized communication, in this case 360 degrees rotating exemplars. We have some colleagues of mine that are showing a 3D printed big footprint reconstructed mainly for tactile exploration, also for blind people, but basically for all people that are fine with some touch or tactile exploration. And you can look at, in this case it was the original rendering, a very big and interactive screen in order to allow visitors to figure out a number of information directly interacting by their own gesture or by the flick of their hands with all the contents that are displayed. This is the way people are shown and suggested to interact with the content. So a couple of lines plus an image in order to explain how to touch and how to interact with the digitized visualizations. All those digitized solutions are based on these scanning sensors that are enabling the gesture interaction in the middle of the hair. So people are not really in need to touch the projected surfaces. They may interact from the middle of the room by gesture shaping, and the system is detecting specific gestures and transforming them in inputs. This type of scanning sensor is the same that you can find inside some drones, so for aerial navigation. And is an effective way, in our experience, to allow people to interact with digitized content without touching. Mainly after COVID, this is really, in our opinion, a good solution. Other room, again, on the right side of my screen, we can see the original furniture from the founder of the museum, that is the Count Arrigoni degli Oddi, was a noble person from Venice area, so the very northeastern side of Italy. And Mr. Arrigoni, approximately 2 centuries ago, was very famous internationally for some specific techniques treat animals for museums-related purposes. So still today is very well known by zoologists and professional people that are used to work within, let's say, the animal realm. So there is a room dedicated to the to Mr. Arrigoni degli Oddi, the founder of the museum. Within this room, in the past, you were only expected to look at some posters, some static images about this person and his main working tool or professional tools. Now you are expected to meet with his avatar, because a digital human is available to talk and to interact with. So you can ask some questions, and the avatar of Mr. Arrigoni degli Oddi is able to answer both in Italian and in English. People are shown and suggested to explore specific keywords or specific topics, let's say, because the avatar, like Siri or like Alexa, is able to understand the specific keywords and to provide specific answers that are triggered by the keyword. This is the avatar. On the top left is the final release of the avatar within his own professional office at the time, 2 centuries ago. Top right, you can see the original photos we started from in order to three-dimensionally and digitally design this avatar. And bottom right in my screen, you can see the furniture at the very beginning of the modeling phase. We worked with and by Unity. Unity is the leading graphic multimedia engine, is the graphic engine usually behind the video games and in general multiplayer gaming activities. It's a very powerful and flexible graphic engine. We modeled all the three-dimensional objects by Unity. Objects and people like this avatar. Another room, in this case, we are projecting 5 mirrors, and the effects are quite baroque, in our opinion, intriguing. let's say, we are reaching a wow effect because it's a baroque mirroring of mirrors. So there are apparently multiple or even an infinite number of surfaces that are mirroring each other. Is into the real world a small room that we transformed like that. And last but not least, we have here the skeleton I moved from before. If you recall, the first photo I was sharing with you was with Giuseppe and Sarah managing the orangutan skeleton. This is the final output. On the very right, you can see the totem, the multimedia totem. We are working with a model that we embedded inside the closet, but is similar to this one. Is embedded with also a proximity sensor in order to enable, once more, gesture shaping, so people are mirrored and are mirrored both as a human being skeleton and as an orangutan skeleton. Just to understand and maybe to have the younger visitors, so the students from the elementary and middle schools mainly, understanding in a dynamic and interactive way something about human evolution. And this is just to share once more that the project was developed and still today is delivered under the umbrella of the European Union and then Italy, Republic of Italy, mainly the regional government of Lation, and the specific museum we are working with and partnering with, that is the Zoology Museum that is owned by the Rome's municipality. All the other logos are from the LogosNet network, so my own company. Okay, let's stop sharing my screen and please allow me to share a short multimedia recordings, 1 minute or so. So you have something lively from the museum.
Hello everybody, my name is Ettore. I was born in 1876, and I am Conte Erigone degli Odi's avatar. You know, the guy who'll donate those dead stuffed birds to the zoology.
I'm not sure that you can see and look at the video. Apparently it's frozen. On mute. I was saying that I was not sure that you were able to look at the video, but from the chat I figured out that yes, the video was working, even if from my computer was apparently frozen. So you had the chance to take a look again at the multimedia totem with both the human and the orangutan skeleton. as well as you saw the avatar of Mr. Arrigoni Deliotti, a shortcut from the English version of this avatar. So these are part of the museum installation. By the way, in case you want to visit the museum in Rome, let me know. I can arrange for you all a visit in case you'd love to travel to Rome and really to join us in the museum. If not, keep in mind that this museum from next autumn will also benefit of a newly released website designed purposely to deliver digitized experiences online in order to allow a double type of visits, not only face-to-face or brick and mortar, but also virtual visits made interactive by meeting online avatars and interacting with digitized objects. Please feel free to ask questions if any, or please feel free to share your opinions and impressions about the museum. I'm thanking you for attending this session about the Zoological Museum in Rome.
Thank you very much, Fernando, for your nice talk. This was very interesting. Are there any questions here in the room, or are there any questions, virtual questions here? You want to ask Fernando something? I have a question, Fernando. How much effort took it in time, for example, to install such a big, huge scenario in a museum?
It took 16 months because we had to rework 5 rooms. And financially, this means approximately 200,000 euros.
Ah, okay. But it's not so much as I thought for 5 rooms. Work you've done.
Is the digitalization of 5 rooms. So we are keeping all the existing exemplars, all the existing objects and content. We had to print, we had to digitize, we had to perform scanning in 3D, to install projectors and proximity sensors. Usually, we try to keep pricing as low as possible, because even if we are talking about something that could be priced at a premium level, is very challenging, changing the mindset of people like museums curators that are usually traditionally minded and used to think that all the exhibits have to be physical, based on physical objects. So the main effort, also according with the institutions involved into the project, was making available a solution that is highly digitized but not so expensive, so was not so challenging having all the involved people on board.
Okay.
Otherwise, if we bill too much, let's say, the risk is doing nothing because it's too expensive.
Yeah.
And is supposed not to be so effective. So for marketing and pricing reasons, we try to keep these type of interventions at a low pricing level.
Yeah. But what do the curators say after you have installed this kind of virtual experience? Did they change their mind about having it all in the old way, or what are your experiences with
Yes. Now Now they are, for example, asking us to perform a tracking in order to know how many people are asking and which type of questions they are asking to the avatar of the Conte Arrigoni, the founder. Now they are starting thinking in a more digitally oriented way, and they are understanding that from a digitized exhibit, they may benefit because, for example, they may figure out trends and they may have a quantification. They may have numbers about what the visitors are looking for. Before, this was unthinkable.
Thank you.
Now they are asking us with this type of questions, and we are happy to do that because it's a good way to really establishing a new mindset among the museum curators.
Okay.
Same having a virtual exhibit from the next autumn was unthinkable 1 year ago. Think a very traditionally minded Italian museum.
Okay, thank you very much.